Welcome to Gaga Knits. My name's Anita and I live in South Wales in the UK, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Anita Ball, and show notes can be found in the description box below. I hope you've had a nice few weeks since we spoke last. I've been mainly knitting, and I did manage a week away in the caravan in Pembrokeshire again, this time with Martin, so we went a little bit further afield, and I shall put some pictures at the end as usual if you're interested in that kind of thing. We were there on the hottest day of the year where everyone was complaining how humid it was and uncomfortable, but it was lovely where we were, and on that day we were walking the cliffs to Barafundle Bay, and there was a sea breeze and it was really very pleasant, so we were very lucky. But as I say, I put some pictures at the end of that. I have two finished objects, one almost finished object, a new cast on, an acquisition, and also I won a prize in a knit along. So let's get started first with the finished objects. The first finished item is Arthur's little jacket, and this pattern is by a company called Sardines for Tea, and if you look at their website I think you can get this cardigan pattern just on its own, but I had it with a pattern for Albert the rabbit, which is a knitted rabbit using DK weight yarn, and this should have been knit in DK, but I knitted it in 4-ply and used smaller needles just so that it would fit Arthur, who is my lunar lapin. It's a little bit of loose fabric there because Arthur's a little bit narrow shouldered, but other than that, and I should have really knitted it longer, but I was impatient to get it finished, but I think I will make him another one, and then I will make it longer, and I just put some little buttons on there for him, and he's got little pockets. It's really quite cute. I need to make him some trousers now though, so I'll make those out of the actual lunar lapin book. My next finished object is the Anaheim cardigan that I was knitting, and it's an Andi Satterlund pattern. I did talk about this quite a lot last time, so I won't again. I've just put some little buttons on there that I also bought in Shaw's. This was the yarn that I bought in Shaw's, the Drapers. It was £1.10 for a 100-gram ball. I bought 3 balls, but I only needed 2, and the buttons were £1.25 as well, so the whole cardigan was less than £3.50. So I did plan to wear this to work with a dress that just a ready to wear dress that had lemons on, but I've tried it on with it, and because the dress is a little bit blousy on the top, it doesn't look right with it, so I'll have to maybe make a fit and flare dress, or just over a little fitted t-shirt or something like that. That'll be fine. It is quite nice on, but it's way too hot today to put a cardigan on to show you. My nearly finished object are the socks that I'm knitting for my cousin Nikki. Now I started a pair of socks for her a while back, and I didn't really get on with the pattern very well, so I decided I wasn't enjoying that, and I knitted the foot I think a little bit too long, so I ripped all that out and decided to go with a tried and trusted pattern. I chose some yarn that I think I've talked about them before. This is Drops Fabel. If I got the and yes, Drops Fabel print in colour 911, which has all these different colours in it, and it's nice to knit up because it makes a nice pattern in the sock. This is the second sock. I did an afterthought heel, or I will be doing, which is that line there. I have done the first one. It's completely finished, and I have put the contrast toe, heel and cuff in. It's a toe up vanilla sock. I'll put the pattern down here. I have tidied my craft room and I don't know where my sock blockers are. If I did, I would put this on there to show you, but so it was a straightforward knit. It's very nice to just knit and watch the patterning being produced. Keeps you knitting on and on. So I don't mind doing a vanilla sock if it's a patterned yarn. The problem I had with this yarn was, because my cousin isn't a sock knitter or anything like that, she'll have only bought store-bought socks, so I thought she would want them to match, and I think I've done a pretty good job of matching them, but it was really difficult to find the place in the yarn that matched the sock that I'd already done, because the repeats in colours aren't really the same. So there's like a purple there, but that purple has got a different repeat. So it was really hard to find, and I undid the whole ball, and the actual pattern repeat was going the other way, so I had to rewind it the other way to get them to match. Now I bought two balls. I thought if I just started them both in the same place it would be the same, but that was not the case. And when I was knitting up this sock and I was getting close to the cuff, I ended up, have I got the little strand? I ended up with just that much yarn before I would have had to try and find the repeat again on the other leftovers. I had plenty of leftovers because I had this much, but it was just that I found the place where the stripes would match up. So that was definitely a case of yarn chicken. So the only thing I've got left to do is the afterthought heel, but for some reason I'm putting it off. I will try and get those done in the next week because I can send them off to Nikki then, because she's been very patient. She sent me the template of her foot in February when she sent me a birthday card, and we're now in August, so that's a bit too long really, isn't it? Because I finished my cardigan and I finished Arthur's little cardigan, I now have room to start a new cast on. And I am joining in with Constance of the Stitching Over the Days podcast, where she is doing a knit along, and it's called a Kim Hargreaves along. Kim Hargreaves is a knitwear designer, so you just have to knit one of her patterns, and I think I have told you about this one before, but I am knitting this, the Bonny, and I am using this lovely Drops Kid Silk yarn, and the colourway is just a number, but there is a name if you go on the website, so I'll put that under here as well. And I've actually cast on the back, and it's just a couple of rows of knit, and then I have to do moss stitch for a little way, a couple more rows, and then I will be changing over to the larger needles and just knitting up in stockinette. And I didn't think I had the right size circular needles and I was going to have to use straight, but I found a pair of the right size circulars in a project bag that I hadn't emptied properly and put away, so I can do the whole jumper on circulars, which I much prefer. So I've just started that, and even though it's hot, it's not too bad to knit because it's really fine, a really fine yarn, and you just knit 2 strands at a time, which I was a little bit concerned about, but I'm not having a problem with that at all. So that's good. So on to acquisition. So I won a prize. Earlier on in the year, I joined Ellie from Craft House Magic's knit along, and it was a shawl along. I don't know if it was just knitting, you could have possibly crocheted one as well. So I knitted a shawl and entered it into the Ravelry group, the Finished Objects thread. Now Ellie's podcast is very popular and she has lots and lots of subscribers, and lots of people entered this competition, so I didn't think I stood a chance in winning, but I did, and I have won the most beautiful project bag. This is one of Ellie's own bags, and she appliques all the little dragonflies and flowers on there herself, and her website name is on the back, and it's absolutely beautiful. And inside it is lined with the same fabric that the dragonfly is made out of, and it's got 2 little pockets inside. It's absolutely lovely. And not only that, I also won some other goodies. I won a beautiful skein of yarn from Vibrant Iris, Premium Superwash Merino and Nylon, 75/25, and it's Attic Spin Dye is the name of the company. I'm not very good at this, am I? And Vibrant Iris must be the colourway, and it's beautiful. And my nan's name was Iris, so that'll be lovely and special, and I'll have to knit something really beautiful with that. And Ellie also put in a mini skein. I kept it nice so that I could show you. A mini skein of her English country garden, and that is absolutely beautiful. My favourite colour is green, and that's just so pretty and delicate. It's lovely, and you can't smell it, but a beautiful lavender sachet that goes with the bag. And also I had another little lavender sachet and some progress keepers that are absolutely beautiful. So it's a little spinning wheel and the moon and the sun. And funny enough, in my craft room there is a little moon and sun, a purple one, above my door, which were left by the previous owners, and I just left them up there, so that goes with those. So it was a lovely gift. So thank you so much, Ellie. It's really kind of you, and the bag is beautiful. And I've been waiting to show you the bag because I want to put my Bonny sweater in it, because I don't know if you can see the matching colour, but the very subtle purples in the dragonfly here. This will go beautifully, and it's such a large bag that I can get my sweater in there nicely. At the moment it's just in this bag here that I got from the NEC when we went to one of the craft shows, but I can now transfer it all over into Ellie's beautiful bag. So progress will be made on my sweater to join the knit along, and it'll all go in that beautiful bag. Now, as I say, we went to Pembrokeshire for a week in the caravan, and they have quite a lot of antique shops in a little town called Narberth, and we always like to go there. And in the one antique shop I found this really nice book, and it's from the early 60s. Look at that on the back, and it's Butterick sewing book, Shortcuts to Home Sewing, and there's some really nice things in there. 3 ways to line a skirt and easy ways to make a roll collar. Tells you about fastenings and belts, men's shirts, neckline finishes, all sorts of things, pockets. I've yet to sew anything with a pocket in. Buttonholes, about gathering and ruffles, sleeves, tucks, all sorts of things. And I have read through it, and even though it's an old book, I think all the tips in there are still very prudent till today, and I will definitely be using some of those tips. I haven't done much sewing, but I do plan to. Well, not this morning. Earlier on, I was watching Katie from Inside Number 23's vlogs from 2 years ago, where she made the Hollyburn skirt. Now, when she was going to do this sew along, I bought the pattern to join in, but I didn't feel confident enough then with my sewing to sew the skirt. It seemed quite complicated, but I was watching them again today and I think I'm ready now. I want to sew that skirt, so I want to do that. And I also recently bought the Tilly and the Buttons Agnes top. Now, I know I'm really late to the party with this because lots of people have, well, thousands probably have made these tops, but I want to make one of those, a short-sleeved one for the summer, and I just wanted to make some plains because I tend to sew always with patterns. And I bought some white jersey fabric from Stitchy Bee, which I will go get. It's not really that exciting to look at because it's just white jersey and it's actually a little bit creased because I've washed it now ready. But I just want to make a little white Agnes top in that. And if I've got any left, any of this white fabric left, I might match it or combine it with, some fabric from my stash to make one of the baseball type tops from Tilly's latest book stretch. I think it's called, I can't remember what it's called, I'll put it here, but you know the one I mean. So, but I want to make the little Agnes first because it's really pretty, and I probably will do the ruching in the sleeve because, or shall I do the ruching here? I don't know yet. I'll have to see how brave I'm feeling. So that's everything this time. Not a huge amount. I don't really know why I haven't had that much time to knit, but I've been trying to finish things off. So I know people have lots and lots of things on the needles and lots of works in progress, but I don't like too many. And also I find if I have too many and it takes a long time to get back to any of them, it takes a long time to get back into the pattern. It doesn't seem very good time management to me. So I shall be getting on with my projects and hopefully I'll have some more finished objects to show you next time. So I shall leave you with some pictures from our holiday in Pembrokeshire. We've got some pictures of St David's and Solva, our walk from Stackpole to Barrowfendle Bay, and some other photos of various places. And it was all very pretty, and everything always looks much better in the sunshine as well, doesn't it? So I hope you have a nice few weeks till I speak to you again. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell to know when my next episode will be up. And please feel free to leave a comment because I love having comments and I always reply to everything. I'm only a small channel, so it's not an issue, and I always like to reply and interact with people who watch my podcast. So until next time, I'll wish you well.